Hey there guys, I decided that I should show some of my psychedelic obscurities today. It's the main stuff that I collect, and psychedelic obscurities generally, they're not that easy to find. When you do find them, they tend to be a little expensive because not easy to find, not a lot of them were made. So I figured I'd start. This is the only album by a group called Samara or Sinara. Maybe you guys could help me with that. Uh, this is a ridiculously hard to find album that was released by Capitol Records in 1969, and this one is actually a really special copy. Let me show the disc first. It's on the Green Target Capitol label, so it's an original '69 press. They only did the first pressings of this, and then they didn't make it anymore. They have never officially re-released this album. It's hard to find, and there's some good stuff on it. I mean, this album has some good highlights. Life Stories, Stoned Is, Lullaby for Sia. Those are some of the highlights from here. It's only a 6-song album, and really just kind of like funky stuff. Really just kind of like funk, blues, psychedelic stuff is really good. It's a press kit. It has this little insert inside. This was a press copy. Comes in this little folder, and when you open up the folder, you could see the inserts that come with it, because this was a press copy. This did not come with the standard copies. It came with a promotional photo that is very, very glossy, really good quality, original '69 promotional photo. And it comes with some stuff directly from Capitol's publicity department on Capitol Records stationery. Very special stuff, and this is actually I've tried looking all over online for this. I cannot find another press copy anywhere. So I think this might be a really extremely rare variation. So if you guys know about press copies this album or about this album period, just tell me the experience you had with this album and when you listened to it or whatever. But yeah, this is an original press copy, and I've never seen another press copy, not on eBay, not on Google, not on anything. So I think that I'm thinking it's an extremely rare variation of it. And that's a really just hard to find. If you guys find it, get it. This next one is, it's more like bluesy kind of stuff with a little bit of jazz influence in it. Sweet Stave and Chain, or Sweet Stave and Chain, however you pronounce it. It's on Cotillion. This one's in the Shrink. It's actually a really good album. If you guys find it, get it. I'm going to say that for all these. If you guys find any of these, get them, because I would highly recommend them. They're really good. And they're just really good listens, and the fact that none of these bands really made it big just kind of surprises me. Well, there's a couple in here that made it big that had number ones, but they're not really known too much after that. This one is from a group that had one hit, I think, in 1970, and it's also the title of the album, "One Fine Morning" by Lighthouse. I mean, the cover alone, you could tells you about the album. The back cover, really nice also. There's also really good highlights on this album. Little Kind Words, Sing Sing Sing, One Fine Morning, Step Out on the Sea, that's a good one. And yeah, this is I forgot what label this was on actually. Let me take it out. It's on Evolution Records, which I've honestly never heard of. It's one of those little local labels, I think. They had a hit with the song One Fine Morning, but other than that, they just fell back into being unknown after that. This next one is kind of bluesy kind of stuff, and I really enjoy this album. It's just a great album, and it's by a group called The Illusion. It's their self-titled debut album. I think they put out 2 or 3 albums, and I think this is on Steed Records, which was a subsidiary of Dot Records. There's a really, really just a great song on here called "Did You See Her Eyes?" It's like a 7-minute song. It has a drum solo, has nice distorted guitar. This one is also very hard to find, so if you find it, get it. Really just a great album. I'd recommend it to anyone that enjoys psychedelic blues kind of stuff. There's some really good blues influences on there. Here's another very nice bluesy one, but you wouldn't tell it from the cover. By a group called Jelly Roll. This is their only album they put out. Let me open the gatefold. They sound a bit like Canned Heat. They sound like they sound like they have Canned Heat and Jefferson Airplane influences. Here's the gatefold. They have like Moby Grape, Canned Heat, Jefferson Airplane. They have a lot of really just great influences on this album, and This is just getting harder and harder to find. It even has the original inner. The rest of them just had like these plain white inner sleeves. This one, like I said, if you find it, get it. It's on cap. Getting more and more harder to find. It's just a great, great, great record. This next one, I wouldn't say it's that hard to find, but it's not easy to find either. It's one of the more well-known psychedelic ones. It's A Beautiful Day. Debut album by It's a Beautiful Day. It's their self-titled album. There's really good ones on here. Hot Summer Day, White Bird, Wasted Union Blues, and Time Is. Those are... Oh, Bombay Calling is another really just great one. And this is a repress on Columbia. This is like a 1970 repress, I believe. 1970, 1971. Someone correct me on when this was made. This is another really strange one. He kind of sounds a bit like Billy Joel, if Billy Joel would have gone more psychedelic hard rock kind of stuff. Mark Moogie Klingman. I know that he went on to be either the piano player or the organ player for Todd Rundgren's Utopia. He played with Todd Rundgren quite a bit, and it's really just a great album. This one's also on Capitol. I believe this was also made in 1969. Has a custom lyric inner. Yeah, I believe this is 1969. It's on an orange Capitol label, which this is kind of a strange label, but, you know. This is another great one. This one is also really hard to find, and it's on Atco Records, The Insect Trust, Hoboken Saturday Night. They have a lead singer in here. Her name is Nancy Jeffrey. She's a really good singer on this album. Really a great album, so if you find this, get this too. Has the original inner sleeve. And it's on the yellow Atco label. The Insect Trust, I think, put out a couple more albums. Like, they put out like 2 or 3 albums. This is by a group that only did one album. Peppermint Trolley Company. You can tell by the cover also it's pretty psychedelic, but it's more like pop kind of stuff. It's like soft. I wouldn't say it's like hard psychedelic stuff, but it's very soft psychedelic, really nice album. This one is also getting harder and harder to find on the Acta label. Haven't heard much about the Acta label. I heard that they're a subsidiary of ABC, so I'm assuming that's the original sleeve. Here's a promo one. The Road on Kama Sutra. They do really good covers on here. Mr. Soul, Rock and Roll Woman, Taste of Honey, She's Not There is just a really great track off this album. And this is their first of 2 albums. I know their second album was a live album, and then they called it Quits. An original on the Pink Kama Sutra label. Promo copy. Here's one that's probably one of the hardest ones to find that I'm going to show in here. All these are hard to find, but this one is like very, very hard to find. It's the debut album by a group called Birth Control. This one's in the shrink wrap. It's kind of like hard rock psychedelic. They have a lot of Doors influences on this album. If you find this, definitely, I would recommend it to anyone. It's an incredible album, incredible group. I don't see why they only put out this for their debut album. They could have done a lot more, and I know they're still around today with a different lineup. They could have done a lot more really good stuff like this, but they started going more towards hard rock and punk rock. So yeah, this is on Prophecy Records. Not easy to find whatsoever. Another great one, Peanut Butter Conspiracy for Children of All Ages, an original on Challenge Records. I don't have their first album. I know this is their final album. I have their second album, and this is their third and final album. This one's in the shrink, and it's on... I forgot what label already. Challenge Records. And yeah, I would recommend this one to anyone too. I would recommend any Peanut Butter Conspiracy. They're a really great group. They sound a lot like Jefferson Airplane and the Mamas and the Papas if they had a band together. Here's 2 copies of Anam that I see is getting harder and harder to find. Here's the really hard to find variation of it. A mono pressing of Incense and Peppermints. Really good copy. It's on Uni Records. Let me take this out of the sleeve real quick. This album itself is a little hard to find, but the mono variation, this is the first one I've actually ever seen. So I got it, even though there's a little tag on the label. And I also have the stereo version of it, which the stereo version is the more common copy. You'll find probably 10 stereo copies for every mono copy you find. Yeah, really good album. This one I'd say it's like southern rock and psychedelic kind of stuff. It's by a group called Sundown. This is a promo copy on Ampex. Chuck Leavell was in here, who went on to be the organ player for the Allman Brothers Band. He plays with Eric Clapton, I think, to this day. He's just really great. There's some good highlights on here, too. When I Leave, Gypsy Woman, Living In and Out, and not an easy one to find. I actually can't find really any info on this album whatsoever online. Yeah, if you find this, make sure you get it. Here's one by an unknown guy at the time that went on to be a huge star, Bob Seger System. This was originally called Tales of Lucy Blue, but at the last second they changed it to Ramblin' Gamblin' Man. This was in a dollar bin, you could see, because it has writing on it, and it has some issues. And this is an original on Capitol Records. The Jaggers, we went to different schools together. They're most well known for The Rapper. They do a couple more good ones on here. Looking Glass, With a Little Help from My Friends, I Call My Baby Candy, At My Window, Carousel. This is another promo on the Kama Sutra label. Colors. This is their first, I think, 2 albums they put out. A lot of really good songs on here. It's on Dot Records. They do... Oh, I have to look at the track list. Give me 1 second. They do Bad Day at Black Rock, Love Heals, I Think of Her. Those are some highlights from here. Yeah, this is on Dot. If you find it, get it. Pacific Gas and Electric on Columbia Records. This is kind of bluesy kind of stuff. Another hard to find one. Stereo on Columbia. Here's one I actually don't have any info on either. It's the Electric Junkyard. It's kind of like jazzy, psychedelic kind of stuff. A lot of the songs on here are instrumental. Not easy to find whatsoever. This is the only copy I've ever come across. The Easybeats, Falling Off the Edge of the World. They're most well known for Friday on My Mind. And they had George Young from AC/DC, one of the founding members in this group. Original and United Artists. The Peppermint Rainbow. This one isn't really that psychedelic, it's more kind of poppy. And they're best known for the title track on here, Will You Be Staying After Sunday? It's an original on Decca Records, has the original inner. Blue Cheer. Vince Reptum, really kind of hard rock psychedelic stuff. I have the second pressing right here and the first pressing right here. Both of them are in pretty good shape, and it's on Philips Records. Let me take out my first pressing copy. My second pressing is in better condition than the first press, so I 10 to 1 when I pull out this album, I pull out the second pressing copy. Mutsy, Light Your Shadow. This one I actually don't have any info on either. I know that the cheapest one I've seen online is $60, and it's really an incredible bluesy kind of album. And it's on Sussex Records, which I think was a subsidiary of Buddha. Now for the final one I gotta show, this is a Holland import. Best of Rare Earth. Rare Earth's most known for I Just Want to Celebrate. They do a lot of other really great ones on here. People Get Ready. Well, it's not People Get Ready, it's just Get Ready, Born to Wonder, What I'd Say. Really nice Holland import. Great condition, and a great album if you find it. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any of these albums, let me know, because all these are not necessarily that easy to find, and that's why I collect them, because I like to give these bands a try, and 10 to 1, all these albums are really good. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.